What's going on YouTube? Culturedog Sam Hatch back here with another video. Thanks to everybody for checking out my Week in the Life of series. Many apologies to the people that were drawn to my channel for home media reviews and discussions and wanted to hear more about Blu-rays and Laserdiscs and got to hear tons about groove metal and stuff like that. So thanks for powering through that if you did, if you happen to. If not, no harm, no foul, but I got some cool comments from everybody that seemed to enjoy a little bit of it. Hopefully next year I'll do another one and then actually capture some footage of the daytime action at work. So sadly there was a lot of stuff missing, and I'll maybe get somebody else to film it so I don't have to think about it actively and just get in the moment. But it was a good time, and now I'm backlogged with a ton of reviews. I've got plenty of Blu-ray reviews and Laserdisc reviews that I have to get going right now. But I also did pick up a couple Laserdiscs, so I figured I'd jump right back into things with a Laserdisc pickups video and show you what I've been getting lately. This is actually from my parents, and it says 1985 on here, but I swear I saw this way before that. And I know I definitely at least had the album. That was a staple in my house, and I had a bunch of cool drawings and a booklet inside it. It is Nilsson's The Point, and this animated version is narrated by Ringo Starr, and it's the tale of Oblio and his dog Arrow, and he's a round-headed kid that lives in the land where everyone is pointy-headed, so teaches you a thing or two. So yeah, it's kind of akin to the Star-Bellied Sneetches or that sort of thing. A lot of social commentary in a kid's movie. But cool stuff. I haven't seen this in a long time. I used to jam that all the time, that soundtrack. And oh, that is a 3M pressing from Image as well too, so it's got sticky edges. I gotta check and see if there's any rot. Likewise, this is a childhood classic of mine. This was the first time I ever saw an R-rated movie, well, sanctioned in the theaters by my mom. I had already seen tons of them. My dad had taken me secretly to go see Animal House, and I had already seen this probably twice by the time I was officially taken to go see it. But classic John Landis flick, The Blues Brothers, and got the Signature Collection, which is, technically, this is not rated because it's a lot longer. It was originally supposed to be a roadshow type film with an intermission, and a lot of that footage was lost, but now it is available in this here Signature Collection. I've never seen the long version, so looking forward to checking that out. Classic flick, and yeah, killer. This is actually something I got from my mom, but this is actually mine. I donated it to her once I got the letterboxed edition. The pan and scan version of Ridley Scott's criminally underrated Black Rain, though I can't really say that anymore because it seems to have a pretty large fan base. So it's turned into a cult movie. And this I picked up at Suncoast back in the day because I was completely frustrated by the fact that I couldn't find a letterboxed copy. It just was not carried in any of the brick and mortar stores around me. I should have just ordered it. I don't know why I didn't, but I saw this and I had it in my hand. I'm like, all right, I'll settle for pan and scan because I can go home and watch it right now. Love this movie. Great stuff. So I'll probably end up selling that, but it's good to have it back in my hands for a minute. Finally pulled the trigger on this since I've been doing a little bit more Laserdisc player maintenance. I got this super expensive 8-inch Laserdisc, the reference disc. This is one of a few that Pioneer put out, and this was what the service technicians used to have back in the day. This is the NTSC version. There's a PAL one as well, and it's just got a ton of signals and stuff on the disc. So like a real serious technical-minded counterpart to a Video Standard or Video Essentials. But, you know, this was designed specifically to fine-tune Pioneer Laserdisc players. So if you have crosstalk and you have to adjust the tilt and all that stuff, you can use this. The only downside is you need a special service remote to access a lot of the things you need on the player. But the good news is the IR codes for the service remote are readily available. So you can either buy a pre-programmed learning remote online, or there are a couple people that have the original service remotes for a ton of money, or you can just program your own. So I'm going to try and program my Harmony remote. You just get yourself a vector scope waveform readout and you're ready to go. So very cool to finally pick that up. You can get it still in stock from Pioneer's US parts store, and it's stupid expensive, but pretty cool to have. finally got this. I'd been hunting for a long time. If you ever saw my Spotlight review of the old Fox widescreen edition of Star Wars, you'll know that I was looking for the old Fox widescreen edition of Star Wars. Not just any old version in particular, but the Technodisc one from around 1993, I guess they've guessed, even though it says 1992 on the jacket. I've talked about in that video how there was a changing aspect ratio throughout the film. It would keep getting wider, or shrinking the actual image of the film as the movie progressed. And I was like, I got to get the Technodisc version, which fixes that. Even though Technodisc had a lot of problems with crosstalk and etc., some noise in the picture. Though I know some people that really stand by this edition and say it's their favorite pressing of Star Wars and it's the most true to the old, cinematic experience. So, and I'll be talking about that soon. And I figured out finally how to tell the Technodisc version. There's a lot of erroneous information out there on how you can identify it. And I'll do a Spotlight review on the same title again, but it's a different pressing, different beast altogether. So super excited to finally get that. And I did go out on a lot buy about a week ago up in Massachusetts, and met a nice guy who was selling his family's Laserdisc collection, and much to the chagrin of his son, who he had sold off one title that I guess his son was like, you can't do that. But I got a couple things, including some commons and things that I already have, so I'll be selling these. But you can't have enough copies of Star Wars, so got a bonus copy of the Faces THX version, which is essentially the same stuff as the definitive collection, but in CLV form, with a little bonus George Lucas interview. And yet another copy of the CLV Jurassic Park, with the interesting gatefold where they still stick both discs in this side, even though they have this whole part they could use over there. But so I got that, and shout outs to Peter Biancardi, the rarest of the rare. GoldenEye. Got another copy of this now. I still do need to complete my Bond collection, the pan and scan version and the DTS version. But now I got a bonus one. I'm going to bring this one to work, I think. And this was the one that the gentleman I bought it from said his son didn't want to give up, and I have never heard of this. It's a animated feature from Hemdale, from Joseph Gamis, and written by Robin Lyons, who's in Joss Ackland, Claire Bloom, and Roy Kinnear, and Rick Mayall do some voices. But it's from supposedly 1993, The Princess and the Goblin. Yeah, never heard of it, so I'm gonna have to check that out. And one cool thing I noticed after picking this up, it's got an old barcode sticker from Laser Craze, which was one of my favorite LD superstores up in Boston, and they used to rent stock and then sell them off later. In fact, I used to pick up a bunch of that stuff myself. So, thought that was cool. This came from my favorite Laserdisc store. And another common, but for some reason I did not have it. For some miraculous reason, I didn't. But Star Trek Generations, look forward to checking this out. Firing up the AC3 Dolby Digital soundtrack. And I'm sure once I buy some more lots, I'll get 30 more copies of that. This one is from early 80s. Was this? When did this happen? 82 maybe? But this is a 90s repressing with digital audio of Simon and Garfunkel, concert in Central Park. This was still in the shrink, so I took it out, and I got to get some new sleeves, resealables. But in the meantime, it's out naked, but looks really nice. I'm gonna have to check that out. Got a few stress fractures and stuff like that, but I might end up selling that. But it's pretty cool. This is a little beat up, but I never did have it before. The CLV version from CBS Fox from 1992 of Return of the Jedi. Cool that the cover art takes up the entire front of the jacket there, except for this little banner down at the bottom. But pretty cool to have yet another copy of Return of the Jedi. And this one I was excited about, because I have not seen this in ages, and I don't believe I've ever seen it in widescreen. And I think there was a later rendition of this, remastered, but this is from 1990. But Journey to the Center of the Earth, some classic Jules Verne adaptation action from Henry Levin. And Charles Brackett and Walter Reich did the screenplay. Yeah, Pat Boone in there. look forward to checking this out. Should be fun. Love that there's a stupid crappy banner on the Fox discs. Alright, this one I also didn't own on LD. It's got some shelfware, some ringware on it, but not bad at all. Letterboxd edition of Glory. Edward Zwick directing. And yeah, good flick. And likewise, I did not have this. Another family classic. Mary Poppins, the Archive Collection rendition. Very nice with the gilded edges there. And cool gatefold. A lot of extras on here too, so very cool. Looking forward to watching that. And it's not my favorite Topol movie, because that would have to be For Your Eyes Only. But I have not seen this in a long time. Letterboxd edition of Fiddler on the Roof from MGM. Very cool. This is from 1990, this pressing. And there was a box set that I also didn't have, which was pretty cool to finally get. The Ultimate Oz. Very hefty, beefy set. It's got a lot of great extras on it. I also like that it's got information on the inside of the cover lid, but it still has the information sheet that was on the back. It's THX. It's got a ton of extras, including a lot of interesting audio extras that are hidden on all the different audio tracks, and it's got a little bit of a roadmap to explain what's what when you watch the film. This is said roadmap, the guide to the Ultimate Oz, and yeah, it's pretty in depth. I love the music notes and everything like that. I mean, this was really made for diehard fans. It's got a couple discs, and they're in fantastic condition. The Making of a Movie classic hosted by Angela Lansbury, which is very nice. And then the feature itself. I like the silver THX and all that. Great looking release. Nice gatefold. Yeah. So super psyched to get that. It also comes with a continuity script from March of 1939 and some stills. And the one thing it kind of advertised but didn't actually come with was a poster. So they give you a little slip to order your poster so you can get it later. But yeah, pretty cool to have some movie script action. I'll try to read that since I'm a fan of scripts. So yeah, I was happy to pick that guy up. And then what else? I did get a small lot from Maxine Davlin from Laserdisc Forever, who's been picking up lots left and right like crazy, giving the Chicago Laserdisc Mafia a run for their money. So the LA Laserdisc Mafia is a one-woman strike force, and she had a couple things that she was selling off pretty cheap, and I figured I would grab these. I'm always on the hunt for cool Hong Kong flicks, and the rental market there was stronger than the home video purchasing market. So stuff was pressed and then just kind of forgotten about. And you don't see a lot of these on a regular basis. So when I do see them and they're cheap, I pick them up right away, like The Killer recently. But also the fact that I used to buy VHS dubs of these from a couple different people across the nation. So, my formative cinephile years in the, well, actually maybe past formative, but in the 90s I was watching Hong Kong movies all the time on VHS tape. So I would have loved to have had the Hong Kong counterparts, but now I was finally able to pick some up. And Maya Laserdisc Company in particular did this goofy thing where if they had a movie that was, no, it totally didn't even, this didn't even need to be split into two, but they would split it across two discs and sell them separately. So I have My Father is a Hero 1 and My Father is a Hero 2, even though it's one movie. And you may know it over here in the States as The Enforcer, but classic Jet Li flick, I believe it was Corey Yuen directed. I was just watching this at work today, actually, and some crazy stuff in there. This is uncut, original music and all that stuff, so it was changed a little bit for the United States market. And this first disc has this crazy, like 15-minute long, advertisement / documentary about the Maya Laserdisc company. It's pretty cool stuff. I should make a rip of it and put it up online. And closing things out with the THX box set of Goldfinger. Been meaning to get this for a long time. I'll give you guys a really good close-up look of this stuff in a future video, but it's got similar stuff to the CLV Laserdisc that came out later, that same kind of artwork there, but it's got a little booklet. This was, threatening to be a series of special edition James Bond releases that were going to break wallets and hearts, especially mine, because I couldn't afford them back in the day. This and Thunderball came out in the States, and I'll show you these up close a little bit later too, but the thing I really like about them is they've got custom polyline sleeves, but the paper's got just a bunch of photographs, in a grid from the movie, but they're different on, each one. And I like the layout of the label, too. It's really cool looking. So 3 discs, a lot of good extras in there. A lot of the same stuff you've seen on the DVDs and on the Blu-rays. And then it came with a little thing to enter the incredible world of James Bond 007 by joining the Ian Fleming Foundation and getting GoldenEye magazine. So, pretty cool. Gets you all psyched up. I really wish I could have bought this back in the day, but alas, I just stared at it at Laser Craze and wished it was mine. But super cool to have a copy of that finally, so thanks to Maxine for that. I'll give it a good home. So that's it for now, except I do have a box sitting right over there, and I think there's something cool in it. So we're going to unbox that, check that out. I am awaiting 2 big mega super boxes from Japan, so hopefully those will show up soon too, so I can show you guys that, at least before I go on vacation in a couple of weeks. So, thanks for hanging out. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the new Laserdisc editions. Stay tuned for some more LD-related stuff, and I'll talk to you soon. Cheers!